Hi guys, so this is Aaron. Today in this video we are going to talk about what is IP address and what is host ID. So let's get started. So first, what is IP address? So what is IP address? So internet IP means internal protocol. So what is IP address? So IP address is a unique number given to the device which are connected to the network. So I'll give you some example so that you can clearly understand. I don't want to waste your time. Okay. So first I having yes mobile. Okay. I having a mobile on my home and having a smart TV and a laptop. Okay. So I'm having three devices. So I'm having three devices which are connected to one single network, that is Wi-Fi. I have connected to this network. I have connected to this network. So now whenever I connected to the network, so it will generate one IP address. So it will generate some IP address, something like 192.168.172.10 point something, kind of. Totally it will be like 4-digit numbers. Okay, you can check in your mobile phone itself. So if you are connected to your any Wi-Fi, I mean any Wi-Fi or any hotspot, just you can search into the Wi-Fi settings, advanced settings, and you can see below the IP address. Okay, so okay, so this is the whole IP address. Now, what is so we are going to see about what are these four digits represent. So that is the thing we have to see. First, IP address contains two things. First one is network ID. Network ID plus host ID. What is network ID? So network ID means what? The first digit which we have here, right? So 192.168.172. These three digits are the internet IDs, which means network ID. This is same for all the three devices. When I connect to this mobile, smart TV or laptop, these three devices will have the same IP address like 192.168.172. Then what about that 10? So here comes the host ID. So this is the host ID. Each devices have some unique host ID so that you can easily send and receive the data for separate specific devices, right? So if you have a same IP address for every devices, then that is not a proper thing. Okay, so we have some separate host ID. Let's assume that for this mobile I'm having host ID like 10, and here 11, and here it is 12. So now I'm connected to this 10th device, 192.168.172.10. So now it is IP address for this mobile. Okay, if I open my mobile and if I see, I'll get this IP address. But if you're connected to the smart TV, again if you check in the internet, you will see the host ID like 192.168.172.11. So I hope now you have understand the concept. Okay, so there are two IPs are there. One is private IP and another one is public IP. So these two things we should know before we get into the next topic. Okay. So now what is public IP and public IP, public IP and private IP. So I'll give some simple examples so that you can easily understand. So public IP is applicable for any users can use that public IP and get and receive the data, but private IP is not something like that. So for example, private IP is your mobile phone or laptop which are connected to the network. We can't able to share any data through this private IP. It will convert into the public IP, and public IP will send the data to the another person. So here how we can verify the IP, so it is whether it is public or private. So we have some standard unique numbers like that any digit start with 192 or 172 or 10 point, some values like 12 or 13 or x point x dot x dot x. .x. Any value that starts with 192, 172, 110, they are called like private IPs. So apart from these three numbers, whatever we are getting, that is called a public IP. Now I will show you how we are deploying our code into the production with a public IP. Okay. So this is a simple one. I'll explain it clearly. Okay. Now, so I have my code in my own laptop. Let's assume I have a HTML, CSS, backend Java and jar files, all my YAML file and whatever data, backend database, everything I'm having in my own laptop. Okay. I'm having in my own laptop. So I can able to, so let's assume HTML, CSS, Java, any other jar files or deployment files like YAML files, application.yaml, DB connection, all the files in my own laptop. So I can able to see the website and I able to access that one. But it is not only for my right. So it is not only for me. So it should be in a global level, right? So everyone can see and access it. That is a global application, right? So for example, if the person, if some other person wants to see my application, access it, then how it will happen? So normally all the details I'm having in my own laptop, right? So it is in my own server, so it is not in a public server. So we need one public server. This is how actually the deployment will happen in the production, I mean in the live. So okay, now it will go, first of all it is in my local server. So to view all the things to the global level, we need one global server, that is called a public server. So okay, so we need one public server. So there are few important players to providing this public server. We can say like AWS, Microsoft Azure and GoDaddy. So this kind of providers will provide this public server. So now I'm just giving all the details, I mean all the files, all the server details I'm just giving to the server. Okay, server, public server. Now this public server will have some public IP address, some values like 542.32 point something, any other. I'm just giving some example, don't take it as a correct thing. So like 13 or something, some blah 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 digits. Okay, so now I have created my entire application, I have sent that to the public server, and now public server is having our public server IP. So through this public server IP, every users can able to access this directly, able to access within this IP address. But normally you won't see any IP addresses in your search. Okay, so normally how we will search? So we will search like www.google.com. Google.com. So this is a domain name. So this is the, so this is the domain name, but the both domain name and the public server IP both are same. So we are just giving the values to the public server IP. So we can't just go and remember that these numbers, and we can't go and latch in our browser, right? So we should give some well-known characters to get the application. So like google.com or youtube.com, Facebook, internet or any other, it should be like this, it should not be like this, right? So to convert this domain name, we have some concept like DNS. We have one method called DNS. Now what is the purpose of this DNS? So this DNS will convert this google.com into that public server IP. This public server IP. Now this public server IP will know whether which application the user wants to get. Now it will straightly go to the public server IP, and it will fetch all the details from the server, and it will show back to the user. I hope you all understand this concept. I'll explain clearly once if you are not confused. Okay, so this is my local files, all the bundle files. It is in my own laptop. So all the files, I mean all Java, let's assume full backend, and front end, DB, all the connections I'm having in my own laptop. So this is me. Let's say Aaron. So it is in my local file. So only I can able to see and access the files here, right? So if, for example, there is one another person, he is from any other like he is from America. Let's assume, okay, he is from America. Now he can't able to access the file which I have in my local, okay, right, in my local server. So to view all the details to all the people in the entire world, so we need one public server. So we need one public server. So now what I'm doing is I'm putting all the files, all the deployment files, all the relatable files, I'm just putting into the public server. Now the public server will generate one IP address. Let's say 148.122.177 or something, etc. Okay, so it will give some public server IP. This is called public IP. Okay, so this is called public IP. So now all the files, all the things are inside this IP. If the user search for this IP, directly it will go to the public server and get all the details, fetch all the details, and it will give to the person. But we can't simply go and search for these numbers. So people can't understand these numbers, why we are having these numbers, and they are not able to remember all the things every day, right? So we should have some domain name, like a standard name, like google.com, yahoo.com, youtube.com, facebook.com, something we should have, right? So here, let's say I'm going to the one domain company called let's say like GoDaddy or cheap names. So some providers are there. Let's assume that I am going to the GoDaddy. I'm going to the GoDaddy. I'm just asking them to create one domain name for me. Let's say aaron.com. So I'm just asking them to create an aaron.com for this public server ID. For this public server ID, I'm asking GoDaddy to create one domain name called aaron.com. So now whenever the person from another end, they search aaron.com, it will straightly go to the public server IP. Okay, public server IP. And now the public server will understand this IP is present inside our server and get all the details and go and show to the person who is initiating the who's initiating the file. Okay, so this is the entire thing. I just want to show you. I think I hope you have understand that. If you have any doubts, please put in the comment section so that I'll explain clearly. So now we have understand what is host ID and what is IP address clearly, I believe. So if you want, uh, I'll clear you in the comment section. Okay, thank you. Bye.